There's a bunch of, I noticed there's a bunch of videos online of you having debates with these guys that they were in the middle of constructing this
Ground Zero Mosque, yeah.
It was an Islamic community center.
Well, that's what they tried to change it to.
Okay.
So originally,
is that there now?
It is not.
Okay.
I was asked by some of the families in 2009 to get involved in this issue.
Yeah.
Where some people, an Egyptian guy named Sharif Al Gamal, who's a developer in New York, decided he wanted to build a mosque at Ground Zero. Okay, let's look into this. Myself and one of the family members, Deborah Burlingame, whose brother Chick was the pilot of the plane that went into the Pentagon. So her brother was murdered on September 11th. Deborah and I teamed up, and we actually went to Sharif Al Gamal, and we sat down with him in his fake office. And
his fake office?
Yeah, fake office. There was no papers. There was a couple computers set up. There was no. You could tell it was just there. It was. He was trying to be like he's a big shot developer or something. Okay. Whatever. He in the end he was just a New York shyster. That's
right.
Trying. He wanted to. He wanted to be a millionaire, and he wanted to hang out with and do drugs with supermodels. That's what he wanted. We don't think he was.
Most people want that.
I guess. His ideology. I don't think was as bad as some of the others we dealt with through this process.
Right.
And when we sat down with him, we gave him the opportunity to tell the truth. And we had done our studying, and we knew what the truth was. And he lied to us. Even worse than that, he would not even directly address Deborah because she was a woman. So she would ask him a question, and he would turn to me and he would answer to me. He would not answer to her. Mm. And so when we walked out of there, we said, this guy's full of shit and he's a bad guy.
Mm. Because that's their culture, right?
Well, he that's some culture. That's not an American Muslim's culture per se. Right. I'm trying to walk a line here.
Don't worry about it. You don't.
But it's what I believe.
Okay.
So, for example, one of my very best friends now is a guy named Jason Redman, who's a U.S. Navy SEAL, retired. Who was he was a lieutenant. His team was ambushed in Karma, Iraq. He was shot 8 times, including in the face. Jason survived it. And has become one of my very best friends in the last 5 years. And if you ever said something about Muslims as a broad brush generalization, he would go down your throat.
Really?
Because he was over there and he knew the difference between bad guys and good guys, between people who wanted to do bad things and people who were innocent. It's the same as being a fireman in Harlem and the Bronx. There's 2% bad people and there's 98% just people who are poor.
I think that's definitely something that's very present in the air right now in the country. Is everyone thinks of things in generalizations. There's no nuance to anything. It's either all Muslims are bad.
It's bad. That's wrong.
All Americans are good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Neither one of those are true.
Right.
Yeah.
So did you have a lot of contact? Did you have a lot of conversations with Muslim people when you were in that time period?
I would say I had some conversations, and people, depending on which side you were on, people would try and paint me with this brush or paint me with that brush, and neither one of them was accurate. I did a lot of media in 2010. Mm-hmm. It became the biggest news story of the year 2010. It was a huge fight between ideologies, and in the end, they tried to. I was called a Nazi. I was called Islamophobe. I was called a racist. I was called everything, and none of those are true. None of. I've never been that guy in my whole life.
Right.
But I will defend the memory of my friends at Ground Zero. Mm-hmm. And if you want to build a mosque on top of the grave of my friends, I will come at you and I will fight you. Because, not that you don't have the right to do it, but it's very disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And it's very uncaring to our community. In the end, we ran them out of there. And the building, whatever it is still being built because they have no money.
To this day, it's still being built.
Yeah. If you look at pictures around there, it's a high-rise luxury condo building that's halfway built. And it's been like that for years and years now. Mm-hmm. The crane is still there. They're not doing any work on it because they have no money. Because the whole thing was a sham. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was a sham. And we successfully stopped that Ground Zero mosque from being built there, which I would say is a victory. But we brought awareness of radical Islam to America. And we explained to America what that is and what it's not. You know, a good friend of mine, she got very angry at me in these years. And she's a Pakistani Muslim, mm-hmm. brilliant American doctor. Mm-hmm. She's a brilliant doctor. And I really had to explain it to her that I'm not like Islamophobe guy, which is a made up word, by the way. But I will fight for her because Nida and her friends, her family, and the innocent Muslims who come from Muslim countries to escape tyranny, they come to America for freedom and equality.
Right.
Right? And that's what she wanted. She just wanted freedom and equality. That's what, like I said, 98% or 95%, I don't know the number, mm-hmm. but they just want to live in peace among Christians and Jews and everyone.
Right.
You know, and that's what she wants, and that's what I want. And however, that will not shut me up when I find a bad guy. And they don't come after me anymore. I wish they would, because I'll crush them again.